Hey, how's you going? This is just a quick disclaimer. If you haven't seen my last video, you should probably go and watch that one before watching this one. It's nothing too important, but what I'm building is an extension off of what I built last episode, so if you're a person for continuity, you should probably go and watch it. Anyway, let's get to the video. Man, I've been thinking about building this ever since I uploaded that last episode. I am so pumped to build this. I've got so many good ideas for this base, and I can't wait to put them into use. I suppose, though, I probably should actually show you the concept that I've got for the first room, and it's based off of this picture right here. So as you can see, it's just a blue room with these people in it, but I just want to build this room and hang it up in the exact same room that it's in to make it look like this picture was taken while in that room. Wow, who would have guessed? But I can't exactly build it without digging it out first, so I'll do that first, but I won't show you because it's just digging. It's not like there's much to it. So let me just do this real quick and I'll be back with you with the building. Alright, well this room is cleaned out and ready to go, so I think I might just go and place down my reference image over here and then I might just get to it. Alright, well I think the best place to start would be with the walls, and they seem to be some kind of a blue, so I might use some blue terracotta, or light blue terracotta as a matter of fact. And as for this section here, I don't actually know what I'm going to do for that yet, so I might have to think on that while I'm putting the walls in. I really don't know. I'm thinking for the jutting out bit, I might use some stone or something, because if we look at it, it needs some sort of a stair and some sort of a fence or a wall, and I think stone, I should be able to use walls and stairs to create that look. But I don't know, it might not blend in very well. I suppose something else I could do is I could just go a little bit off of the reference image and use like spruce or something, but I'll probably just see how the stone looks first, because I do want to kind of stay as close to that reference image as possible. And that being said, the blue walls are actually done now, so I'm probably just going to replace this floor and work out the roof. I don't exactly have much of a choice with the roof here, so I'm just going to place it with dark oak as well as the floor. Okay, the walls and everything are in now, so I think we are good to start actually copying this image over. As I was saying earlier, I might start with trying to copy this in, and I think I'm going to try and use the stone first. I don't know how well it's going to work, but hopefully it should be at least alright. So I think I might just use some stairs here, and then I'm going to have to go and smelt up some more, but I'm going to put some walls here. Okay, well let's just put this in, and it's pretty much perfect. I don't exactly see a better way of doing it very much. Like, it could be closer to this wall, but I feel like if I were to do that, this would look well out of proportion, because this is going to have to be 1 block wide. And also, if I'm going to put this chair into, it's going to have to be decently thick as well. So I don't know, this is probably just about as best as it's gonna be. Okay, well moving on to the next thing, there seems to be 2 windows of some sorts here, but obviously we're underground, so we can't put windows in. So I think I might try and make those into some sort of vault. As to how I'm gonna do that, I have absolutely no clue, but I suppose we can just see how things go. I guess I could maybe use some chiseled stone bricks here, and then just some trapdoors on this side, and it might look close. So maybe if I just make some trapdoors real quick and see how that looks. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Like, these look like the dials on the vaults. Only thing is that I don't think these are the right trapdoors for the job. They look a little bit funky. Probably because they're the same color as the floor and roof. So I might go and find a better one. I mean, looking at the color, I think birch might be the best choice, but I don't know if I have much birch wood. Yeah, as expected, I don't actually have any, so I might just have to go out and try and find some real quick. Alright, let's see how long this takes us. It surely shouldn't take too long, and as a matter of fact, this might be some just over here. Yep, there we go. Might just grab 3 or 4 trees. Should be pretty quick with the tree felling mod as well. Alright, that should be plenty. Okay, let's see if I was correct. Was this the right choice? Yeah, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks better than the dark oak at least. Alright, well I'm happy with that, so I might put this chair in and then I'll start figuring out what I'm going to do for this as well. Now actually looking at the chair itself, it seems to be made out of a wood that is kind of similar in color to spruce. And it looks like it's also got like a black cushion on it as well, so I might try and make it out of deep slate and then line it with some spruce. Okay, so looking at this, it doesn't look overly too far from here. Like, it's definitely believable. So I suppose the next step is to just try and figure out this cabinet, which I think is going to be a great difficulty. But while the wood looks like birch, I don't want it blending in with the doors on the vaults, so I might try and make it out of spruce instead. Or maybe oak. I might be limited on the oak though, because I don't want it to be too see-through, so I might only do like maybe these bottom ones or these top ones out of oak, so then you can see through into it. But other than that, it's probably just going to mostly be spruce. Now, I'm probably not going to put in this middle shelf, otherwise I won't be able to place anything on either of them. Alright, look, it's pretty terrible, but I think it's as close as we're going to get to this. Alright, it looks hella goofy at the moment, but I might try and add some stuff up on here and actually put in these trapdoors as well and see how it looks then. Okay, well I don't see any way of getting this closer, so I might just put the picture up here and see how it looks. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that, but now the next task is going to be the harder part. I've got to actually try and match the rest of the room to this style now. And I don't know, I don't usually build in this style of interior, so it might be a little bit of a struggle. So let's just see how this goes, I suppose. Yeah, well, I suppose a good place to start would be putting in a little bit of a counter underneath this painting. Yeah, I might put some more paintings up in these corners because it's looking incredibly bland. And I'm thinking maybe I might use one of these stock ones of some landscape or something. I mean, that there doesn't look too bad, but now I just gotta find one that's similar enough to match over here. I mean, it doesn't match quite as well, but it's the only other 2x2 that matches decently. I mean, the picture isn't even in this painting, but it can just be interpreted as being added later, I suppose. Should probably also put a door in this room. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I really don't know for this room, because I could add a carpet, but I don't know if that's exactly in the style very well. I know what I do want to do is add an entrance to some sort of like a meeting room, so I might put that on this wall here. But as for the rest of the walls, I have no clue. And as a matter of fact, I might actually just move this one more over so that I don't have such a large space over here to try and fill. I'll tell you what I could do. I could probably put a keg or something in. I will need to go and grab the supplies for that though, but it's definitely a possibility of something I could do. Because I mean, like, looking at this little example that I have here, it definitely fits the style, so it's not going to be too out of place. And while I was actually out here as well, I did also think of a couple of other things that I could add, so I'm going to add those too while I'm at it. But I will start off with this keg. So we'll just place it in a similar style to the one that I used as an example earlier, just like this. And as a matter of fact, we might just copy it one for one. But one of the other things that I thought of was a little bit of a bookshelf, which I might actually put on this wall over here. Although I might take it down a notch though, because it's a little bit tall looking like that. But now it does look a little bit short though, so I might just instead do something like this. Alright, well, I mean, that's pretty good. It still feels pretty empty in this room though, but I don't know what I could add. Like, I could probably do like a plant in each of these corners maybe. I could grab the supplies for that and see how that looks. So we'll just do a simple plant design here in each of the corners as well. I mean, it helps, but it's still incredibly barren. Alright, well, you know what? I'm struggling a lot, so I might just move on to something else and come back with a little bit of a fresh mindset. That being this wall here, because obviously it cutting off like this isn't supposed to be. So I need to try and find some sort of a way that I can connect it from here over to where it is over here. So I'm thinking I might try and make it go out a little bit more, probably over to where this crevice is over here, and then come back in almost on a straight, but maybe I might want to try and make it a little bit diagonal as to have a little bit of something going on. And while I'm doing that, I do also want to try and make enough space to have some sort of a house here. Whether it's a big one or two smaller ones, I want something there. So I don't know, I might do a little bit of head scratching and I'll come back to you with it. Alright, well that was like a week of head scratching. I mean, like, not really, I was kind of just did it on the same day and then took a week off because, I don't know, I'm lazy, I guess. But what I did is I went into a creative copy of the world and planned out the shape of the walls with Axiom and also did a little bit of the design, and then I copied it over into the survival world using Lightmatica. And if you're wondering, that is the reason why I'm building like a 3D printer, but I did use these pillars in the corners as well as like some sort of a weird design on those pillars as well to kind of break it up a little bit instead of just having a straight cutoff for the corners. I mean, as you can see on this corner, I didn't actually do any terraforming, so the wall is just floating, but I didn't want to spend too much time doing that because I've already wasted enough time making this video and I kind of just need to get something done. As you can see to top the corner towers, I did like a copper dome, which matches up pretty well with the clock tower on the town hall, and I also went over to add a copper dome on top of the entrance that I built last episode. Over near where I joined this new wall up with the wall that I built ages ago, I also did build a little bit of a staircase in an alley, and it looks kind of weird at the moment, but hopefully once I put in a couple more buildings, it should look a bit better. Now there is another tower that I built ages ago similar to these two that will be needing a copper dome, but I'll get to that later. Alright, well, as I said in that last clip, it has actually been a week since I started recording this video, and since I was talking about not being able to do this area in here. And you'd think by now I would have some sort of an idea. Oh, my lag spike. And you'd think by now that I would have some sort of an idea of what I want to do, but I am still kind of just like empty for thoughts for this room, so I might just move on to this next room in here, because I do actually know what I want to do in here, so we might just do that and then come back to this room later. Now, I did say that I have a plan for this room, but it's nothing too much. All I know is that I want it to be some sort of a meeting room with a big table in the middle of it. But at least I do have some sort of an idea of what I want to do on like this room, where it's just kind of do whatever comes to mind, really. I was talking about this earlier in the video, but I do actually have a painting mod that allows me to add more paintings. So I have like 3 or 4 paintings that I'm going to hang up in this room. And I'm not going to base the room off of the paintings, unlike what I did out here with this painting. But they are going to kind of fit the room. You'll see what I mean later. Now, for the interior of the room, I want it to be pretty dark. So it's just going to be roofed and floored with dark oak. Well, that one was going to be anyway, but it's also going to have walls of black terracotta, which is kind of like this brownie color that's sort of similar to this, but probably more on the black side. So it's going to have like this really like dark and sort of unnerving effect, but also kind of like a infinite room in a way effect. So as I said, the black terracotta kind of has a bit of a similar color to the dark oak here, because it does have that little bit of a brown hue, but it is mostly on the darker black side. And obviously the room is very, very well lit right now, but I'm going to try and make it as literally lit as possible while not having mobs spawning. And that way I can kind of have that a little bit of an infinity effect that I was talking about. Okay, so it's going to be quite a long table in the center here, and it's going to be just surrounded with chairs with one big header chair at the top. And obviously that big header chair is going to be like the leader of this group, so I think that's going to be kind of having maybe a painting behind it, but with the size of the room, it might have to go to the side. Alright, well, I'm just going to quickly dump some chairs around this, and then I'll show you the rest of the plans that I have. Okay, so I've placed the chairs around now, and I've also preloaded the images, but I haven't actually placed them in yet because I wanted to try and make sure that I get the positions correct. So I think I want to try and place the first one here, and as I said, it is going to be like a little bit of a portrait of a person. So let me just put this one in real quick. Alright, so there it is in the game, and it's kind of like obscured by the chair mostly, but I don't know, I think it does actually work a little bit. Like, imagine you're like a goon of this guy, and you're sitting here, and you're looking up at him, and you see him sitting there, and then also the picture of him behind him. Alright, well, moving on, I also had another one that I think might go here, if not, maybe over here, actually. Let's try it here. This one was actually just one of the pre-rendered ones that were in the mod, but I think it does fit the style pretty well, and it does actually kind of fit right there as well. So we might leave that there for now, but we may move it later. And another one that I have, which is actually vital for something that I have planned, is going to go right here. So let's just place this one in real quick. Alright, well, there it is in there now. But as I said earlier, it is vital for something that I have planned, but we'll get to that later. I do also have a couple of vanilla paintings in my inventory, but I do have another mod that adds just extra paintings using this vanilla system. So we'll see if we can get any of them that match this style. Okay, so they don't match entirely, but it does actually help wrap the room up a little bit, so I might try and fit another one over here, and then that might be it. Okay, so I think that's about as decorated as this room is going to get, because I don't want to decorate it too much, because I want the main focus to be this other thing that I was going to talk about. And I might just get that started right now, and unfortunately I am going to have to pull out my redstone skills again, so hopefully I'm not going to embarrass myself. Now, what I have planned, and what I was talking about earlier with this painting, is I'm going to have a little bit of a hidden door behind this painting, so I might actually just dig that out right now. So essentially this space behind the painting here, which I'll just quickly place back in, but it's going to have a piston door that pulls the blocks away from here, so then you can get in, and it's probably going to have a button that's activated over here, which is why I dug this out. So again, hopefully I don't embarrass my redstone skills, but I think I can do this without a tutorial. Okay, so I might actually just start off over here with the easy part, and also, yes, I did have to turn off my shaders in between clips because it was super laggy. So as with every flush piston door, it's pretty much just that, and then I'll place the 2 blocks in here as well. Alright, well, I've cleared out a bit of a space now, so if we just extend the corridor real quick, I'll leave the floor till later because I think I'll make that out of a different material. But if Mumbo has taught me well, I should be able to remember how to do this off of memory. I'm relatively sure it's 2 redstone there, and then a repeater with 2 ticks delay, and then just coming over to here, I believe. Hopefully. Should probably test that out. Alright, we'll make the input like right here. Alright, let's see. I think that worked. Hang on, let's check. And yes, it did, except I just broke it, so that's fun. And if we switch it off, is it gonna go back? Alright, okay, maybe I'm not actually as bad as I thought. Alright, well, I do actually want to make this button activated, so we're gonna have to make a T flip-flop, but I'm not on the latest version, so I can't just use a copper lamp or bulb or whatever they're called. So I am gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, using probably a dropper one. Okay, so for this, we are probably going to need 2 blocks for the line. So that's going to be a redstone repeater and a comparator. The repeater because it's not going to have enough strength to reach all the way over. And then it should just be... Sorry, I'm like really scraping my brain here to try and remember, but I'm almost positive that it goes something along these lines for the flip-flop, and then a hopper here. As for where the input goes to, I have no clue. Probably this block, seeing that it would power all of these. I'm going to assume that's true. That does also mean that our input is probably going to need to go on this wall here as well, so I might just put that on real quick. So run our line from this wall, and if we just place a redstone in there just as a filler block, actually I might do a cobblestone because that's a little less important, and click that. Yeah, there we go. Click it again. Alright, well, I think I've just successfully actually built this contraption off of memory. That is honestly shocking. I'm actually really proud of myself. I shouldn't be because it's super basic, but that's actually kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, well now I'll link the contraption over to here, and I'll do another button input over here as well, so let me just prepare the area a little bit. I have a spruce button so it's a little bit more visible. I don't think this is going to quite reach, so we might need to place a repeater in here somewhere, and I might just do it right here so that I don't have to worry about it later. And that should work, so if we just press it here, that closes it, and we come back over here, this should open it. Which, yeah, I believe it did. Alright! Well, maybe I'm not as bad at redstone as I actually thought I was. Alright, let's just clean this up a little bit and make sure that no mobs are going to spawn in here. Alright, well, it's a little bit more cleaned up now, so let's just leave this open while we're working on it. I think I might work on that floor now, and I'm just going to make it out of more dark oak, because I want to make this little corridor here as dark as possible. And also, I don't actually believe I've told you what this is yet. Basically, what I want to do is around the village, there's a couple of little drainways, and I want to make this link up to them drainways, so that it seems like these people are spying on the people of the village. So as I said, we're going to try and make this as dark as possible while still making it visible. I will probably change this out for a lantern eventually, but I don't have any on me, so I'll just use torches for the time being. So I think we might start by going off this way and linking it up to the drainway that's underneath this building over here. And that's the one that's in this alleyway right next to where the entrance to this place is. So I'm gonna pretty much just dig the tunnel coming right up to here and have a really dark space in there that the people are going to be able to look through into this alleyway in. Also, you might be able to hear it in my voice, but I am very nasally right now, so if I sound really annoying, I'm super sorry. Okay, so I have actually nabbed the coordinates of the place, but I don't want it to go underneath the house, because then I might run into some issues with the floor, so I might just start turning off right here. Okay, so I think this is, yeah, this is the drainway right here, so we're going to have to try and make this corner super dark so that there's no light coming out of this drain. But I think I might try and, I don't know, I'll try and figure out what I'm going to do for this area later, but for now I'm just going to actually decorate this tunnel so that it's not just dirt and stone. Alright, so as you can see, I have actually finished the tunnel now, and over here near the drain, I repurposed the coal that used to be in it to put it on the floor here to make it extra dark. So while it's nighttime outside, I might actually go and see how good it is, like how dark it is, I mean, looking into it, you really can't tell that there's anything in there, like it's just pitch black. That's actually really good. I'm actually shocked. I thought that it was going to be like good, but like you could tell if you really looked close, but like, I mean, even if I zoom in there, you still can't really see. Looking at it real close on this angle, you can see the texture on the coal or charcoal blocks, I think they are actually. But other than that, you can't see them at all. That's actually really, really good. I mean, obviously, once somebody is standing in there, you'd probably be able to see it. Like, if I just go in there real quick. I mean, yeah, as you can see me while I'm in here, but if nobody's there, you really can't tell. So I think just in like the lore of this place, they would just be wearing like really dark draped cloaks and then like a face mask and whatever. But other than that, I'm actually pretty happy with that. That's actually completely blacked out pretty much. Now over here near the entrance to the tunnel, there is another path going off this way, but this way just leads out of the village. So you might be wondering where this is actually going to go. But in this first room over here, when I built this cabinet, you can see under here that there is a little bit of a space that you can use. And I was thinking that if I just flip these trapdoors real quick, I would probably be able to use these to crawl underneath. And then hopefully I can actually dig out a space in through here and have a second entrance to these tunnels. So if I just quickly dig out a little bit of a tunnel, I should be able to link them up pretty well. Okay, so it is all done, and as I said, you enter through the bookshelf here as a secondary entrance. These are there so that you can get back out. And I've connected it up to the original entrance I made with the pistons, so I can use this and get out. So I suppose the main use case of that entrance would be is like, I don't know, I really don't know. Maybe like the power's out and they can't use their special thing, or maybe they're being like infiltrated and they need a emergency escape route or something. I really don't know, but I just kind of wanted to build it because I thought it would be a good idea. And also, if we actually go back and look at that painting that I based this first room off of, we can see that there is a guy sneaking behind this bookshelf here, and that can kind of be interpreted as this actually having this entrance behind it. Anyway, now looking back at this room, because I did say that I wanted to come back and add some more to it, I'm still really kind of like zapped for what to put in here, so I might just try and find a painting to put here and then maybe put like a rug or something in here, and then that might be about it, honestly. Alright, well, as I said, I just added a painting and a carpet. I really don't know what to put in this room. It's kind of awkward because I did copy it off of this picture here, so I had this area to copy off of, but then because it's such a strange and like kind of really awkward style that I don't usually build in, there was just nothing really that I could think to add in here. So again, just the carpet and the painting, and it tied the room together just a slight bit, but it does still feel very Ballarin, especially on this wall. But I think before we finish up with this place, we might just have one last look through with shaders. Alright, so coming in from the alleyway here, we've seen this about a million times, but we use this, we come in, and we've seen this room as well, but pretty much from here on, we haven't seen with the shaders. Or actually, we have seen this room, as a matter of fact. Okay, well, you know what, it's just this room that we haven't seen yet, so let's just have a gander at it and see how it truly looks. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty well tied together, but then of course, the main part that I really wanted to see with shaders, which I don't think has even been seen at all with shaders, is this area in here. And I think it looks really cool, especially with the warmth from this glowing. I mean, it's pretty cool. Coming up here into the section where it's really dark should be really selling it as well. So if I just use that thing that I used earlier to see through, you pretty much still can't, if I can figure out how to control my character, you pretty much still can't see through unless if you're in here. So it works very well. Right, well, this place was actually really fun to build, and as I said, I'd been thinking about building it for quite a while, so I'm really glad that I finally got to build it. Oh, wait, hang on, let me clean up all this copper. Whoa. This is such a scenic view. Holy, hang on a minute. That was really sick. Why is it so perfectly lit in this tiny little corner here at this moment? Alright, well, I did clean up the copper a little bit. I didn't get rid of all of it because it's still oxidizing, and I do want the fully oxidized stuff to continue building these domes. And speaking of domes, actually, this is something that I built today, and I think it looks pretty good. As I said, I did use Axiom to figure out the shape a little bit, but it was built in survival. I just used Lightmatica to copy it over. And this space won't stay as empty as it is. I am going to put houses on here, like probably one here and then maybe another one coming across here. It's going to be really awkward shapes, but I think it should look pretty cool once it's all done. Funnily enough though, even though this is a really barren space, it's actually one of my favorite spots in the entire village at the moment, and I really don't know why. It might even just be because of this street view micro detail here that I have, because it just adds to, as I said, the street view, and it makes it feel more alive. That being said, it's probably going to feel even more alive once I put more boxes and other little ornaments around through in here. Anyway, you can probably tell by my tone, but this is actually the end of the video. I probably could have made it longer for you, but as I said in that time lapse, for some reason I just decided to take a week off, so I am actually really pushed for time for this. Most of this was recorded over one day. But I don't know, I think the progress is really good. Like, I built this entire wall, I built that entire underground section over there as well. And it might seem very small, but when you have to do underground projects, because you have to dig it out so much, it takes a lot longer than you'd think. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this base is turning out so far, and I think next episode we might finally start looking at this section over here, which is a little bit annoying because it is really hilly and awkward to build in. Now hang on a second, what happened up here? Why has this got a hole in it? Anyway, I suppose I'll have to go and fix that off camera, so I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good one. I'll see you next time.